actually matters on defense in Madden 22? Well, today I wanted to look at two questions. The first being, does playing somebody out of their natural position affect their performance? And the second, what is more important for our pass defense? Overall athleticism like speed and change of direction, or attributes like man coverage and play recognition? A few days ago, Defense Madden posted a video asking the question, have we been playing defense wrong in Madden 22 so far? Over the last few years of Madden, the most popular approach to playing defense was to play safeties at linebackers in your nickel sets, and then a lot of people would also play corners at their safety positions. Now, the idea behind this was to just get more athleticism, more speed, and more coverage ability on the field at these safety and linebacker spots. Now, Zan thought we were missing something. He hypothesized that by switching our players from safety to linebacker or from corner to safety, we were actually causing a nerf to stats like play rec and awareness. He also stressed that play recognition was a very underrated statistic in diagnosing what was happening on the field for defenders. And he feels like this stat can make up for a lack of athleticism and coverage ability by reacting faster on the field and leading to less errors in coverage. Now, he's approaching all this from a match coverage standpoint, and I also play a majority of match coverage. So to test all this, I decided to first edit some players to meet the criteria. So first, I wanted to make a safety who was all around good in coverage and who was completely maxed out in stats like play recognition and awareness. And then I wanted to make a corner who was also maxed out in play rec and awareness. Now, for these two players, I picked Tyrann Mathieu at safety and Jalen Ramsey at corner. Now, where I made these players different was in their speed and coverage stats. Now, I gave Matthews 92s across the board for his running stats like speed, acceleration, agility, change of direction. Whereas Ramsey, I gave him 95s across the board at these stats. Then for man coverage, I gave Jalen 99 and I gave Tyrann Mathieu 89. Now, the idea here is that I'm going to play both these players at safety, but because Ramsey is a corner and playing out of position, this is going to limit his play rec and will actually make him and Mathieu play similar, even though he's a better athlete with better coverage stats. I really wanted to take this testing to the next level. I wanted to throw a curveball in there, so I created a third player and I used Darius Slay. Now, this player, I put all of his athletic traits at 99. Speed, change of direction, jumping, everything. But then every other relevant stat like play rec, man coverage, awareness, I made 79 overall. So now for this player, he will also be out of position. He will be a corner playing safety, so he should get an even further nerf to his play rec. And he has very bad coverage stats, but he is a top tier athlete. I also made all three of these players exactly 6 feet tall, and all three have acrobats, so they are all equal there. So now let's talk about safeties at linebacker. So we are gonna use the same Mathieu card at sub linebacker, and then we're gonna use Levante David in his natural linebacker spot. Now for Levante, I gave him 90 speed with 88s on all his other athletic traits, and he also had 99 awareness and play recognition. And he also has the lurker ability on him where Matthews will have acrobat. So with these two, we should see something similar, because though Matthews is 2 speed faster and he has better coverage stats, he is out of position, so his play rec and his awareness should take a hit. Now I'm going to be putting all 5 of these players through a series of routes and in positions to really stress their stats. Who do you think is going to come out on top? The play rec players in their natural spot, the out of position players but superior athletes and coverage players, or the out of position players with bad play rec, bad coverage stats, but amazing athlete? Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought before you see how the testing goes. Now quickly, let's go over the players that they will be covering. At receiver, all the reps will be run by Tyler Lockett. He has no abilities, and I gave him 94 speed and mid-80s route running across the board. And then the running back who's running the routes is Saquon Barkley with 92 speed and 75 short route running. All right, guys, so here we go, and we are going to be testing Tyrann Mathieu first. So this is going to be our safety in his natural position. Now, we are going to be running cover 4 quarters for all of these defenses. Now, the idea here, guys, I am going to isolate this player. I want to make sure I isolate whatever player we are testing and really put as much pressure on him as we can to really see how these stats are going to react. So with this route, usually this player is going to be running a deep post, and this quarter flat defender is going to jam him before he gets to the player we are testing. But I wanted to get rid of all these jamming variables. I really wanted it to be as standard as I could, full head of steam coming at this player and really put him to the test. This is the route combo we are going to see. This is a very classic match coverage beater. These crossing routes are going to pull this safety down. That is going to leave this player one-on-one with this post, and then this corner is going to be one-on-one with this backside post. So we're going to have two posts, but we are really focusing on this player here. This is who we are testing. All right, let's get into it. So we want to keep our eye on this player, and I'm really just going to let it run on this one, guys. We see he turns not great. We fire it up. Rack catch it underneath with lock. Okay, let's look at it again. So I'm going to run through 3 reps of each one of these plays, guys, with each player. So right here, once again, watch Matthew on this and watch his turn. He's going to turn there, which isn't awful, but he turns the wrong way. I'm not even going to get into that. All these guys are turning the wrong way as DBs. It's crazy. But anyway, really the big difference here, we see here 4 to 5 yards of separation, and he's really not able to close the distance and lock it, beats him over the top for another huge gain. Okay, then last one, I really wanted to try to get a good variation of their reps. I repped through these a ton of times. I really wanted to show you kind of the general idea, and this was probably Matthew's best rep he had. Now, if we watch this, he actually turns the right way here. So before he was turning out, now he turns into the receiver, and that's just going to allow him to not lose speed through his break. But, so this was really his best rep. We see here he's about 1 to 2 yards away from that crossing route, as he catches the ball. Now we're going to look at Ramsey. So this is our corner who's really good all around, good athleticism, good man coverage, and he's playing out of position. So right here, same exact route combo, same exact coverage. Now he turns the wrong way. Right here, he gets about 3 to 4 yards of separation, but here, seems like he has a better makeup speed. He's able to get there as he catches the ball and knocks it out. Okay, let's look at it again. Really focus in on Ramsey here. Once again, he turns the wrong way, so that's going to cost him. But right there, right after the break, he gets, a good 2-3 yards of separation. As we throw it up, he's not able to close the deal this time, and Lockett is able to, take him over the top once again. And last one I wanted to show you guys here. Once again, I wanted to show a good variation of kind of what was happening over all the different testing I did. So right here, turns, see how he turns the right way this time? He turns in with the receiver. If these players would always do that, it would just improve the coverage on the back end a ton, but that really is not what this video is about. But right here, because he turns the right way, he's basically step for step with the receiver on that play. He closes, almost gets a pick, but drops it. All right, now we're looking at Darius Slay. This is going to be our super athlete, but playing out of position. Really bad man coverage, really bad awareness. So right here, keying in on that same player. Now watch, he's going to once again turn the wrong way. So he has that going against him. But watch this, guys. He's step for step. As we throw the ball, he just gets shot out of a cannon, jumps up, picks the ball off, goes up over top of Lockett. One more time, same thing. Let's watch his turn. Turns wrong. So he's been turning wrong. The other guy's turned wrong a bunch. But look, he's basically step for step from him. Then by the time the ball's in the air, and you notice I'm not clicking on here, guys. I'm letting the computer handle all this. Goes up, makes the play once again. Now, honestly, guys, I threw this route to him probably 8 times. I had to throw, I think this was probably the 8th rep right here. Turns wrong. I kept throwing it. I was trying to get a catch in. Right here, he speeds up. He activates his acrobats. It goes through his hands, and Lockett catches it. Okay, so now I spliced up all 3 of these players cutting at the same time. So left of screen is going to be Slay, middle is Ramsey, and right of screen is going to be Matthew. Now, once again, I really wanted to just show you guys as it was all going, I tried to time it up the best I could. So right here, we see the turn. They all, see how their shoulders are all going the wrong way. You should be turning into the receiver, but once again, that's fine. They all turn out. Then we look here, Matthew's about 1 yard away. Ramsey looks like he's about step for step, and Slay almost looks like he's ahead of the receiver. Let it run. As we're throwing the ball, Matthews has about 4 yards of separation. I would say Ramsey has about 2 to 3. And once again, Slay has maybe 1 yard, almost step for step. as we throw the ball up at the catch point, we see right here Lockett just really, outdistances Matthews. We see Ramsey gets to the ball as he catches it, able to knock it out, and we see Slay is able to high point it. So here on this deep, crosser post route, clearly the winner was this super athlete playing out of position. Okay, so that was an in-breaking route, guys. Now I wanted to go over an out-breaking corner route. Now, just a warning, I found this one was the hardest to test, but I really wanted something breaking to the sideline. I think a lot of this depended when I threw the ball. So I'd say this one is going to be a little bit more inconclusive than the last one, but I'll show you the reps. Now, the only adjustment I made, guys, is I wanted to put the flat defender, once again, I didn't want him jamming number 2 before he got to our player, and I didn't want him getting underneath the corner route. We're really testing this player, seeing how he reacts. So I put him in a QB spy, and I really just wanted to put this player in the hardest position we could. Okay, and then once again, this is going to be Tyrann Mathieu playing at his natural position. And this is what the route combo is going to look like. So we just have a clear route with a corner route on the outside. So right here, we're just going to run this. Here we go. So watch Matthews on this play, guys. And honestly, they all kind of did this on this route. But right here, see how he takes that little rocker step back, then he has to recover, then he breaks to the ball. As he catches it, 2 to 3 yards of separation. Then one more time, comes up, little rocker step back, then has to come back down to the ball, 4 to 5 yards of separation. Then one more time, right here, little rocker step, then comes down to the ball, but see how it was a lot cleaner. He didn't back up all the way. So right here, fired in. This one was a little later when I fired it in, but his acrobat is able to activate. He wasn't able to catch the ball, but that was his best rep at that spot. Okay, now we're looking at Jalen Ramsey, our corner out of position. So right here, once again, we're gonna watch Ramsey here. Little rocker step back. Oh, and one thing I wanted to touch on that I never brought up, guys, we see his X Factor activating. His X Factor, I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a press man, so that's the only time it will affect it. And then Matthews has one activate as well, and it's like a run stuffing, and it helps you get more knockouts when it's activated. But none of them are actually going to affect the coverage itself. So right here, though, we see that little rocker step. Then he's going to react on the football. Once again, 2 to 3 yards of separation. Didn't look much different than Matthews, honestly. Okay, same thing. Here we go. Watch him here. Little rocker step. Breaks on the ball. Right here, he's able to hit him as he catches it. Able to hold on. I would say a little bit better than the Matthews rep, but honestly pretty similar. And then one more. Here we go. Rocker step. Really gets back on his heels that time, but I threw this ball late. He's able to get in front and make the pick. Okay, last one. Now we're looking at our super athlete out of position. So this is Darius Slay at this spot. So right here, boom, little rocker step, but see how he's like side shuffling there, and then he breaks on the ball. He's able to tackle him as he catches it, but I found he like strafed a little different than the other two. And right here, same thing, boom, rocker step, then he comes down, and look how quickly he shoots down at the ball. He's able to catch it, but I found he just fired down a lot better, like a lot more classic DB technique. He's planting his footing coming down. Okay, one more. So here it is once again. Little rocker step, comes back, and now he's able to really undercut the route. I think this was the best play out of any of them. Acrobat activates, and he gets a really nice pick. So like I said, I think a lot of this really was impacted on when I threw the ball as the quarterback. I tried to make it as standard as I could. I tried to like throw it in a few different spots for each of the guys. I would say they all played this pretty similarly. I didn't notice a ton of difference between them, though I would say Slay probably played it a little bit better than the other two. Okay, then our last one, guys, this is still going to be out of quarters, but now our player is going to be at this spot. So this is where I really wanted to kind of test the play recognition, really how quickly they could be on one route, then come off to another. So basically what you're going to see here, guys, is he's going to come across the field. He's going to help on this route going vertical. But once this player actually registers as going vertical, he's going to come off of that, he's going to come back on this route, and now it's going to be his responsibility to cover this route across the field. Now, once again, I put our flat defenders in hard flats because I just wanted them out of the play. I didn't want them jamming anybody up and really just dictating and just adding more variables to the play. I wanted to really test this player and put him in the toughest spot we could. All right, and then right here, we're starting with Matthews, the safety in his natural spot once again. So right here we go. So we see he's going to come across the field. He's going to match on this player and help him. But once he registers this player going vertical, vertical. He has to recognize him, react to this route as it comes into his area, as it becomes his responsibility. We see he's gonna plant his foot in the ground, come across the field, and really try to pick up this route. He has to get on his horse, and Lockett is really able to, dice him up. He had like 4 yards of separation. So once again, Matthew come across the field, notice this route here. Now he has to come back, he has to get on his horse, change direction, recognize that route as it gets, transferred to him. We throw the ball. I put a lot of air under it as the quarterback that time, but there we go, 2-3 yards of separation, go upfield, really not in a great spot. Okay, one more with Matthew right here. So here we go, down, boom, notices this route, has to come off and try to get back into position right here. Once again, guys, he catches it, he tackles him as he catches it, but at the catch point, there's about 3 to 4 yards of separation. Okay, now we're looking at Ramsey, our corner, out of position at safety, all around good player though. So right here, exact same thing, guys. He's gonna match his player, he's gonna come upfield. Now he notices player getting vertical, becoming his responsibility. He has to match him, cut, change direction, get on his horse, and try to make a play. And honestly, didn't look that much different than Matthew there. Let's look at the next one. Here we go, same thing. Come across the field, plant, foot in the ground, come back, recognize this route, come across the field, and right here he hits him as he threw. I did find he was a little bit closer on that route. Okay, one more time for Ramsey right here. Boom, foot in the ground, turn, get back on your horse, try to undercut this route. This one I put a little bit more air under it, similar to the last one. There he, hits him as he throws it. So I would say Ramsey played that a little bit better than Matthew, but not that much. I'd say a little bit better. As in the other reps I did too, Matthews was basically never there at the catch point. Ramsey was there a pretty good amount of the time as he caught the ball. All right, guys, now our super athlete, bad play rec, bad awareness, no man coverage. Let's see how he reacts to this. And this is wild, guys. So right here, boom, exact same thing. He's gonna recognize it. It looks identical. He's gonna put his foot in the ground and he's gonna come back to the football. But now he's got a rocket up his ass and just catches up, picks Lockett, goes the other way. Same thing. Watch this player, guys. Right here, boom. Notices this route. It looks identical to the other three. I don't see a spot where he's, taking longer to react. His play recognition isn't, firing. Right here, he puts his foot in the ground, kind of strays. Look at him, rocket up his ass. I tried to, force that ball into there, undercuts it. Once again, guys, I ran this play at Darius Slay. I didn't want to make this video is going to be way too long anyway. I couldn't show everything. I ran this play at Slay. I honestly, probably 8-9 times. He picked it off every single time except this rep right here. So I really tried. I'm like, I want to get this. I want to show that Lockett can actually get open. Right here, I just get it over his head. You can see he's right there. Lockett actually breaks the tackle, but that was the only rep out of like 7 or 8 where he didn't, get on his horse, react to that route, come downhill, and make a play on the football. Okay, once again, this is just that side-by-side look, guys. So this is going to be Slay on the left, Ramsey in the middle, Matthew on the far right. So here we go. I'm going to go through this really quick, but we see, I really want to focus on the transition. Like, when are they recognizing that their job is changing? Is there a difference? So right here, they basically all look the same to me. They're all breaking down at about the same spot. They're all turning their hips at about the same time. And they're all breaking down to the football at about the same time. I'm not noticing a play recognition, earlier firing, awareness that this route is coming into their area. And then once again, it's speed. We see here, Slay just gets on his horse at the catch point is right there. We see Ramsey here, a yard away. We see Matthew here, 3-4 yards away. Okay, now we're gonna look at the linebackers, guys. So we are gonna look at Levante David first. Now this is gonna be a very similar route concept to the last one, but now we're really isolating this player here. He's gonna be our 3 receiver hook in the middle of the field, and we really wanna see how he is gonna react. It's gonna be a very similar thing. He's gonna have to react to this route, recognize it going across the field, and he's gonna have to turn his hips and run with this play. So right here, Boom, he's gonna come into his zone in the middle of the field. He's gonna play his 3-rec, but once this player goes vertical, and then our safety over here commits to this tight end seam route, now our 3-rec hook is gonna be responsible for this crossing route. So how quickly is he gonna react? How quickly is he gonna recognize it? Once again, he's gonna come up, so this is our linebacker playing in his natural spot. Lockett running the route. We're going to fire this up and just get it over his head. Now, Levante's right there. He's, in good position. He's maybe, a step or two behind. Same thing. Levante comes in the middle of the field. We see a little stutter step there. Okay, now he recognizes that route becomes his responsibility. He comes up, tries to get in his hip pocket. Once again, he's not far off. He's right there. He tackles him as he throws it. One more time. Levante right in the middle of the field, stutter step, okay, now he recognizes this route, gets on his horse, gets upfield. Once again, this one probably was the most separation out of any of the reps, but he literally tackles him, as he makes the catch. Okay, now we're gonna look at Tyrann Mathieu in this exact same spot. So this is gonna be our safety playing sub linebacker, in theory should, have less play recognition, but he has better speed, better man coverage. So right here, same thing, where you see him come in the middle of the field, he's playing his 3-rec, he does that little stutter step, then he gets on his horse and gets up on Lockett. Now, he's a little bit faster, so he's there half a second earlier, able to hit him as he catches the ball, knock the ball out. Okay, let's watch it again right here. Little stutter step, okay, recognize that route, get on his horse, get up in his hip right there, jump up, make the play on the football. One more time right here in the middle of the field, little stutter step, can he catch this guy? Boom, and we just get it over his head, but once again, he is there at the catch point. Okay, now let's look at them side by side one more time. So it's gonna be Mathieu right here, and it's gonna be Levante David right here. So right here, boom, we see them both in the middle of the field, do that little stutter step. They're basically both on the hash. They both are just kind of sitting there waiting to recognize this route. Then we see here, they finally commit at basically both the same time. It almost looks like Tyrann's a little bit closer already, but right here now it's just a foot race and they're about in the same spot. Once again, I'd say Matthews is a little closer, more shoulder to shoulder, where he's in more of a trailing position as Levante. And right there we look at the catch point. Here he's able to come up, tip the ball, and here Levante's, a step or two behind. He's still able to catch it, still able to tackle him as he catches it, but he is a step or two behind. Okay, now we're gonna look at how they would play to a route going to the flat. So what we're gonna see here, guys, I left our quarter flats on their normal responsibility, and what they're gonna do when this number 2 goes on a wheel, they're gonna man match them up the sideline. Now when this player goes to the flats, now it becomes our player here, our 3-rec in the middle of the field responsibility, take this running back to the flat. So he's got to recognize this player is going to the flats, turn, flip his hips, and make a play on the ball. So here we go. He gets kind of lost in the mess here. We look at David. He has to react. We see our quarter flat is getting run off, and he really just has to make a play out on the edges here against Barkley. Slight speed advantage. 1 to 2 yards of separation, tackles him as he catches the ball. Okay, here it is again. Barkley, doing an out route. Levante has to follow him to the flats. They get kind of caught up there, then can't really make up after that collision. Gets upfield, and Barkley, beats him for a really nice gain. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Barkley up the field. Boom, cuts out. How's Levante going to react? Boom, and he's just about there. Honestly, if you clicked on, you probably could make a play there, but I wanted to show you guys, just computer controlling this. Out of reach, Levante is just a step behind. Okay, now I want to show you Matthews in the same spot, out of position, safety at sub linebacker right here. Boom, Barkley cuts out, and he really is just right in front of him, basically runs the route for him, jumps up, makes a play on the ball. One more, here we go. Cuts out here, they get kind of sucked in, and diving acrobat, activates, but Barkley's able to catch the ball. So was there, didn't get the knockdown. Okay, one more, here we go. Barkley to the flats, Mathieu kind of following him, kind of beats him to the position, undercuts it, gets up, tips the ball, able to catch it off the tip, going the other way for a pick. So on that one, guys, pretty clearly Matthews, between all the reps I did, Matthews almost never got a catch on him. Levante was always just a step or two behind. All right, then our last route we're gonna look at is this vertical route from the running back. So this is a really classic match beater. Basically what the idea is, This corner route is gonna pull out this deep quarter defender. He's gonna pull him out. These players are gonna match on these two. So now it becomes our 3-rec responsibility to recognize this route going vertical, react to it, run, get vertical, match the running back up the field. This is a really classic, quarters match coverage beater. So let's run it. So here we go, Barkley up the field. This is gonna be Levante David. Once again, has to turn, get on his horse, try and make a play. And we see, a yard or two behind, able to tackle him as he catches the ball. Okay, here we go again. Levante kind of trailing. When does he recognize it? Kind of late turning, fire that up, just able to get it over Levante's head, maybe 2 yards of separation. Okay, one more time, here we go. Going vertical at Levante, turning. Finally here, he's able to activate his ability. Lurker activates, he's able to jump up and make the play. Okay, now Tyrann, guys, in the exact same spot, exact same route combos. Boom, he recognizes the route, he has to turn, get upfield, boom. He's able to, not activate his ability, but just come up, make a play. Okay, one more time, here we go. Matthew, turn, recognize this route going vertical up the field. He has to turn. Once again, he's able to jump up, make the play. Then one more, guys, I wanted to show you, I would say probably 80% of the time it was really similar. Matthew's just able to jump up, make a play here, just out of his reach. It looks like he was just about a yard behind, kind of stumbles as he catches it. But once again, through all the testing I did, I would say Matthews was usually step for step with him. This one time he was able to beat him, where Levante was always just, kind of a step or two behind. Now, honestly, guys, I found these results pretty shocking. Though I thought Zan made some really good points in his video, I thought Ramsey, the player who was out of position but had a better overall speed, man coverage ability, would be the one who came out on top. But the fact that it was clearly this super athlete with low play rec, low man coverage, who was by far the best in coverage, I thought was really shocking. Now, coming in, I did assume that the safeties in at linebacker would just play better in coverage. And I think it's pretty clear that these players are going to be better in coverage. Now, in his video, Zan does mention that part of the appeal with linebackers at these spots is they're going to play the run better. And I think that is probably the case, probably something that, could be tested in the future. So what I really think this testing shows is play recognition plays a very minimal, if any, role at all in coverage, in my opinion. Now, maybe if you bring in another element like play action into the equation, maybe play recognition will play a bigger role. But I really think this showed the most important thing was speed, athleticism over everything. Now, honestly, this was a little bit disappointing for me. I would love if other attributes mattered more, but as of right now, from what I have seen, I really don't think they play a huge role. And then as far as playing players out of position, do I think they get nerfed in anything like play rec or awareness? Maybe, but I don't think it really has an impact on how they play. I still would prefer to have safeties in at linebacker for coverage purposes and get more speed, athleticism on the field. Now, if you guys found this interesting and there is anything you think I should test in the future, let me know down in the comments section. And if you really want to see how I run my quarters defense, a defense we're pretty much talking about in this video, and why I think it is the best pass defense in Madden 22, watch this video right here.